it's like what I said in my recent video, again about Charlie Kirk, is that what shocked us the most about the South Africans mourning him is that you never have anything to say about GBV, youth unemployment. You never have anything to say about the electricity. Nothing. It started becoming less about a funny gay person and a gay person who makes jokes at the expense of other gay people.
Tricky chats, yeah. That's the thing about being attracted to desirability. Like, you're not humanized in the process. We don't care about what you're thinking about, what your morals are, what your ethics are.
Exactly. But you don't care either.
Yeah.
You Good afternoon, my big stars. It's me, the brightest star, Lethabo Maluke, the host of your favorite podcast, Young, Popular, and Opinionated. In the words of the artist Dean Hutton, this podcast is a soft space for hard conversations. You know it. And what's harder than today's conversation? You know what? I've said that the last 6 episodes, like every single conversation is the hardest one. And you know what? I stand by that. I think every conversation is harder and harder, and it's getting harder and harder. But that's not the point. And today, we have a very, 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 very special guest, my bestie, and also highly requested by you guys, Tabby Wabby. How you doing?
How are you?
Are you good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so happy. Like,
Finally.
I'm so happy to have you here. Okay, for those of you who do not know, obviously Bandile was our first guest, but Thabiso was like the first guest I had in mind alongside Bandile initially. The original, yeah. Like, I think in my head, I thought I wanted both of you at the same time, but I thought, you know what? The two topics kind of have nothing to do with each other. So I was like, you know what, let me just spread it out.
We need our own.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, you're not going anywhere. We'll get the time to have both of them. So I'm just really happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
So I just want you to introduce yourself to some of my followers. Give us a little background on how old you are, what you do. You know.
Why, how old I am? Why would you do that?
Bestie, what? As long as it's not 30, it's fine.
Okay, what do you call your fans? So yes,
they're the big stars. Okay. They named themselves. Don't even.
The big stars.
The big stars.
Okay, so to the big stars, my name is Tabby Wabby. I am a scientist, content creator, influencer.
Period.
Queer girly, that's just always going through the most, yeah. And I yap a lot, I think, sometimes. But yes, I mostly do funny content. Yeah.
This is the space for that, to yap a lot.
Yes, of course.
And I'm so happy to have you because I think I explained it to you over like text, and I think I explained it when we were talking about having you on here a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I feel like sometimes queer people, when they're invited to podcasts, it's the same thing. It's very invasive questions, number one. But number two, it's also not tailored to your niche.
Exactly.
It's not tailored to your, points of interest. Like, you're never questioned in a way that you can actually engage. It's not something that your followers will also want to hear you talk about. Yeah. Like, when your followers see the thumbnail, see the drop, they're like, what is this I was talking about? What is Thabiso talking about? I don't want to hear this. And that's why I think I chose you for today's topic, which is the defeminization of the dolls.
Oh, T.
It's T, because you know what? It kills me. It kills me because I never saw South Africa heading in the direction of conservatism, especially in the queer community.
Exactly.
Because I feel like we were like the backbone, or like at least working hand in hand with the woke movement. I don't know, like being woke was at the forefront of being queer in South Africa. We were always the demographic that cared about politics, that cared about advocacy, social justice. We always have the most to say about pop culture. Today I'm talking about Beyonce. In the next hour, I'm talking about Ramaphosa. We are all these multifaceted people, and it's sad that the current state of society has kind of like watered and diluted us down to people who just care about, I guess, attractability and just being hot.
And muscles.
Mm-hmm. And which brings me to my first question, right? And this is like broken into like 3 parts. And obviously the big theme is the rise of femme queer creators and their role in visibility, how femme aesthetics, fashion, makeup, performance shaped online culture, and the revolutionary role of femme presentation in South African queer visibility. So that's our starting point. So I want to hear your general feelings about that.
I mean, I feel like it's expected, honestly.
Yes.
You know, everything is seasonal, like fashion is seasonal. So in the same way, I mean, for example, look at the 1960s. I think people were like, oh my God, it was the era of the hippies. But people forget that they were conservatives during this period, you know?
Yeah.
So in the same way, I think it was like post-apartheid. It was like, oh my God, we're the freedom fighters. We are the born free.
The born free generation.
And then, of course, you see as people, recession indicator.
Recession
we'll probably
indicator.
elaborate on that one. But yeah, as people start realizing that, honestly, is it like profitable to
because
be authentic? I think.
Yeah. Because I
yeah.
think we have a lot of young followers, supporters, even on this podcast, we have a lot of young viewers.
True.
And so for some of them, they might not necessarily, I guess, understand the impact of having femme queer icons like Yosomizi or like Amstel 20 years ago. But what I know they will...
Amstel is very, very big. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what they will probably most likely know is like 3 years ago when we saw Birth of Stars and how that, you know, and how that kind of like shaped South African queer culture for the last 4 years, because I think it's important to give credit where credit is due. I think when I first saw Mogelings, Gamu Worldwide, Kagiso, Coachella Randy, it was in a way that I'd never seen before, especially online. I think it's not just about them making it fashionable to be femme, but they also kind of prove the point that being femme doesn't, I guess, kill your ability to be excellent. Right? Because a huge part of homophobia is misogyny and the whole women are incapable of doing this as well as men do it. And with femmephobia, it's like, well, if you're a femme queer person, you can't dance as well, you can't sing as well, you can't dress as well.
Or you have to dance.
Or you have to be so... You have to be so... exactly. Like, you have to be entertaining.
Be in the arts, be in the dramas,
yes,
do makeup, have a wig.
Right? Because I remember going to my first ever Vogue night in 2022, and when I tell you, when they walked into the room, like all these little queer kids, their faces lit up, right? But now, it's like, I don't know, we've got like back 50 steps.
But I think even when like it comes to that situation, I think they had to come together to also kind of maintain that brand power. I think, you know, there is power in numbers, and I think they had influence on their own, but even that alone shows like, why do queer people have to come together and say, you know, we're like the new Destiny's Child to actually have influence? I think you should be able to have a voice alone. Kamu, you know, has her talents and should be recognized as such as an individual. And I feel like the same for Kagiso, the same for Mogelings, same for every single queer person in the queer space.
In the comment section, it's almost as if they don't see the importance of their unity. It's just like this, it's just this thing like, are you guys still friends? I'll only watch if you guys still friends. But like, for me, as a group, they meant something to me.
They do.
But for the market, they meant something completely different.
That's true.
Which is something that is terrifying. It's so terrifying.
It's true.
I hate it. Because exactly what you're saying, right? They see it, I think for a lot of people, it was easier to make them into a caricature. It's like, oh my gosh, if they only exist for our entertainment, they're on like this show, like the traveling circus. But then when they stand out...
traveling circus.
Yes! But when they stand out as individuals, you actually have to recognize their humanity. You actually have to recognize that Kagiso is multifaceted. You know, Kagiso is not just here as a product. Kagiso is a person. Gamo is a person. Randy is a person. Mogelings is a person.
We need to definitely talk about, like, you know, what we spoke about the arts and how you need to exemplify the arts to actually be integrated, you know, because Kagiso was like pushed to the side just a little bit, you know. It was like a what do you do conversation. And it's like, you don't have to dance to be a queer person. Like,
and I found that so discouraging.
Definitely.
Because I think about it myself as well, how, you know, some people don't have a problem with the message. They have a problem with the messenger, right? and sometimes it's like if you're queer and you're a thinker, that's a problem. You're not
It's a tricky overlap for
you're not
to
supposed to be
understand.
a queer thinker.
Yeah.
Like, Lethabo, shut up and dance. I don't know. Shut up and dance.
Just make me laugh.
Just make me laugh. Make a joke.
Yeah.
Which also, like, it's also how I've seen people's reception of La Sizwe.
Exactly.
Right? Because when La Sizwe first started, I was a huge fan. Like, biggest fan.
Always been the early YouTube days.
Like, it was like I was in grade 8, if not grade 7, right? It's like, it was ages ago. Like, I was in grade, it was
We're kids.
a baby, right? And like seeing this gay boy, he was so funny. Like, I was like, I love the normal frequency, the Excelio
Who looked like us. on
Yes,
top of that.
it was funny. But it's important to note that as time went by, there was this. It started becoming less about a funny gay person and a gay person who makes jokes at the expense of other gay people.
Tricky chats, yeah.
You know, because now the humor rides heavily on what straight people consider to be funny when making jokes about queer people. And I was like, I don't know about that.
It's tricky also because I think queer people are very politicized, you know.
Yes.
Like our existence is politicized. So I think with La Sizwe, it was like, you know, how long are you going to take the comedian thing? You know, we need to actually, like, are you going to speak on the actual, like, important issues? And I think there was a shift in the culture to what are you going to do with the platform? Are you just going to make people laugh or are you going to speak on things? And I'll be honest, I don't think La Sizwe has fully exemplified the activist. I don't think that's his brand, you know.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have to be. I feel like queer people's existence is their activism. But I think, there was that clash.
Yeah, because you don't have to be an activist.
Yeah.
But you also have a responsibility. I feel like if you're not going to say anything important about your community, you also shouldn't have the ability to platform Simon and Jala. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, if you're not going to be an activist, then why are you actively working against it?
And that wasn't addressed. I don't think it was addressed, right?
I read an article about it that if you've said, it's like what I said in my recent video, again about Charlie Kirk, is that what shocked us the most about the South Africans mourning him is that you never have anything to say about GBV. You never have anything to say about youth unemployment. You never have anything to say about the electricity. Nothing, right? You've set yourself up as the person who is not obligated to have a take. But why is this the take you choose to have?
It's not a brand deal.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to have a take. And then for this you have a take. And I felt the same way about it. It's like you've set yourself up as this person whose identity is not political. Not to say it's not.
It is.
But you've set yourself up in that way.
Exactly.
But then the moment you decide to be political, it's for the wrong reasons.
Oh, that's true. Talk that.
It's for the wrong reasons. It's for the wrong reasons. You know? And I think the next thing is like the shift toward a more masculine, androgynous look.
This one is trending, I think, actually.
You know, people creating softening masculine looks.
Trade.
But also, subtopic, safety, desirability, appeal, algorithm bias.
There's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah,
it's like a Venn diagram.
It is. So I feel like for me, in what I think I saw it in like a TikTok 2 years ago. So there was a group of very feminine, dark skin gay men in KZN, and they were organizing not something like Vogue Night per se, but a very queer friendly event in KZN. I mean, we know that like KZN is very patriarchal.
A bit homophobic.
Not a bit, babes. Not a bit. A bit is not the word. It's very
central.
It's
capital.
But, and it's a lot of, I think a lot of it has to do with how the specific tribalism of Zulu people is very patriarchal. Like there's this overcompensation to prove how manly you are. Even with the women, they have to prove just how insubordinate they can be for their men, how much they can submit. And so in a culture like that, of course, homophobia thrives. And so I would understand why a group of queer young men would intentionally want to create a safe space where queer, because whenever I talk about safe spaces for queer people, people think I'm talking about advocating for queer people to be able to kiss outside.
Or groove.
Of groove. And I'm like, I mean, queer people are allowed to do those things. Zero beef. But they don't understand the importance of being able to look femme without someone threatening to kill you.
It extends far beyond that. And I think when you're talking about like queer youth, for example, like if I make a groove spot, it's like, okay, what about the 15-year-old that's watching your content going,
Exactly.
oh my gosh, I want to like take part and be a part of it and,
Yes.
you know, be myself. You can't really do that in a
Exactly.
space where alcohol is being sold.
Exactly.
And that's not saying groove is bad. It's just saying that we need more
It has to be
productive
child friendly.
spaces, 'cause,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's also how I felt about Heartstopper, right? So a lot of older queer people complain about the show because they feel like there are no sex scenes. But I'm like, we need queer media that is child friendly, where the most they do is a peck and a hug. We also need queer media that is very child friendly,
Exactly.
because I think how a lot of homophobic people who complain about our representation, they say it's always tied to sex. And they're not entirely wrong, because the people who choose to represent us are often straight. Our storylines are written by straight people.
True.
Our characters are played by straight people. So the only thing they can do in relation to queerness is sex. Whereas a queer person or a person who's a true ally will understand the need of highlighting what a person like Charlie goes through for being queer and having an eating disorder, being bullied, what a person like Nick Nelson, who's supposed to be this sport fanatic at 15, is going through while being queer. They understand the tenderness and the softness of that. And I just think that's very important.
But even that one is tricky, because I'm like, Tyler Perry, like, is he, displaying the community in a very productive way?
I don't think so. It's very fetishy.
It's very fetish,
It's very
exactly.
fetishy, and it's this this masculine
Everything
nightmare.
needs shock factor, and that's the thing. When it comes to queer people, it's like, what will give shock factor? Let's make them kiss. Or let's make the mask straight man do the craziest thing on camera.
And
I'm not sure if you've seen the scene that's been trending from his recent movie.
Where the mom is like being... I literally watched it. I'm halfway through the season.
Why would you do that?
Beauty in Black is a bunch of shit. It's so... the mom is... The thing is, I also hate... the weaving of very homophobic narratives into black stories.
And trauma.
We have to the thing is, we need to imagine a world where homophobia, obviously not to say it doesn't exist, but we need to imagine a world where black people have moved past homophobia. I think it's important to have a black queer imagination that doesn't center around trauma. And if it's 2025 and your father is being homophobic, your mother is calling you from the club saying, "Are you sleeping with our attorney? He's big. Is that
the storyline? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so essentially the storyline is that. So let me give you a quick breakdown. So have you not watched it at all?
I haven't. I saw someone tweet it and was like, I don't want to lose brain cells watching Beauty in Black.
Okay.
Because I was scared.
Quick breakdown. I started watching it peak breakup last year, just before finals.
No.
You know when you need something so ridiculously stupid to watch?
Is this the breakout we spoke about over dinner? Or
Yes. That one.
They don't need the context, it's fine.
Oh no, guys, don't worry. One day I'll do an episode just related to that.
Don't give him the platform.
It's
Don't
not about
do
giving
that.
him the platform. We're teaching the kids not to be stupid. But
Not
anyway,
through trauma, guys. Let's teach queer happiness and queer love. Not the
Actually,
trauma
yes.
part. Yeah.
Oh, you know what, guys? Let's do this. One day when I get into a happy and healthy relationship, we'll do a segment. We'll do a segment focusing
You don't want
on...
to traumatize the girls, please.
Yes. But ananyway, this centers around this billionaire beauty industry black family.
Okay.
But the cream it's giving leather jacket on my face, right? They creams
Maybe
and
it's Gentle
perms.
Magic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gentle Magic USA.
Yeah, their creams are burning people's scalps and all of that.
No.
That's a breakdown of, you right?
Yeah.
And now the one brother, so the two brothers are next in line to inherit the fortune,
cream line.
but then the one has sons, and he feels like his sons are ungrateful. The one son is gay, the other one is a drug addict. But the gay one is also a drug addict, but in moderation. But he does party drugs at the parties. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Whereas the other one has ED because of the drugs.
Oh my gosh. Layers.
Layers. And so essentially he meets this girl at a nightclub, she's a stripper, and then befriends her. But the father, who's homophobic, falls in love with a male stripper. And then after falling in love with said male stripper, he cooks up a plan. The male stripper and his female stripper friend, he marries the female stripper friend so that she can inherit his fortune and not his ungrateful sons. That's a summary of the whole.
That's a lot, hey?
That's Beauty in Black. That's Beauty in Black. But anyway, the gay storyline is so traumatic. It's filled with drugs and whatever. And that's what I like about Heartstopper.
Yeah.
Right? It
humanizes the characters.
It humanizes
I think,
the
instead
character.
of focusing on what they're doing.
What they lack.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It focuses on the possibility of an accepting family, right?
And a realistic.
Because Charlie's family's against the dating, not because he's gay, but because Usase Mncane.
Exactly. That's realistic.
It's like, Usase Mncane, why are you dating? It's not even like, it's like we feel like you are going through a lot and you are
Focus on school.
Focus on school and your recovery.
Yeah.
It's Wakoba Shiba. Very, very, and I'd love a storyline like that isn't centered. But you know, we got lost in thought. We were still talking about the fair black people crazy.
Yes.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they organized this event. Before I forget again, they organized this event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after they organized this event, the comments were horrible.
From people from KZN or?
In general. And it was mostly about desirability. Everyone was talking about how unflattering they are, how dark they are, they're not fit, they're not pretty enough. But what's funny is that in the spaces that they're trying to create, the people who benefit the most from that are going to be the mask-presenting queer people who have not made the effort to create that space. Like, I always feel like that's one of my biggest beefs with these safe spaces that people are trying to create. It's often the labor of very femme-presenting people. And it's not to say let's create a civil war in the community, masks versus femmes, let's pull out guns and kill each other. Yeah. But it's to say that masculine queer people will love to talk about desirability from Monday to Monday. Yeah. And yet they enjoy the fruits of the labor of femme-presenting bodies. They break the most barriers.
True.
It's I don't know, like it's so...
They're like the frontliners, essentially.
Yeah, because firstly, femme-presenting people are the most obviously gay.
True.
Right? Because I think safety plays an element into it. I think the more mask you are, it provides you a layer of safety because at the very least, you might not get, on the train, like, why are you wearing big earrings? Why are you wearing flowy pants? Yeah. Is that a woman's blouse? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, like people's reception of you is very different. But also I've seen it play out in real life. Yeah. In the club, those are the ones that are like talking to each other and like whatever.
I'm a DL.
Rubbish.
But like you said, it's desirability. It's what is marketable. And I think sadly, for us in the community, it's getting to a point where what is in line with the gender norm for men is what is desirable. It's always be mask, but I want a mask bottom.
Mask.
No femme.
No
makeup. No.
But it's...
it never ever makes the space where people that don't fit into that can actually present themselves and say, you know what, it's okay if I'm not attractive to you. Doesn't matter that I'm not attractive to you. I can just exist as a human being, and that's all that matters. Exactly. Yeah.
Excuse me. And I think what breaks my heart is that I also understand that people are tired of not being desired. People have undesirability. People have undesirability fatigue, right? Yeah. And it's not to say give in to the whole look maxing, aura maxing, whatever nonsense is going on.
Are you included?
Oh no, hell no. I'm gonna be very real. I gave up on being desirable, I think a long time ago, in the sense that like I love dressing up, I love looking good. But in terms of who's going to interpret it as I'm sexy enough for them to want to lay with me, that's not my problem.
It's open-ended.
It's not my problem anymore because it's such a drag.
True, but the girlies want to be held at night.
And I understand. People want to post a photo and people thirst in the comments.
People want to be loved.
People want to post and swipes, like people swipe up on the story. What's the
Like,
fact
like,
you said
like,
like a petty? Like people, like some people are actively like I remember saying that, you know, I think when it comes to pretty privilege, I think what's very dehumanizing about it sometimes is that sometimes people just interpret you as a sex symbol, but like you're nothing else, and therefore they harass you. But you'd be surprised at how many people would would swap places the harassment over being ignored.
Oh, that's true.
You know, because
sadly,
people want to be regarded as hot.
But I think also it feeds into the fact that like queer people aren't taught what queer love looks like. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you turn 18 and you've probably dated maybe like in school. Shouldn't have. But you probably have. And you know, you were probably dealing with a DL guy, didn't know what that looks like.
Exactly.
And even when you do engage in a loving relationship, I think people still have a lot of unlearning to do even there. Because it's like, I've never seen this on TV properly.
Exactly.
Like you said, that's why we need the hot stoppers that are showing the complexities of the relationships of let's leave the sexuality. It's just two boys that love each other. Let them deal with the fact of maybe this one got traumatized and doesn't know how to deal with affection or take love. And those are the nuances that you have to then deal with when you're actually in a relationship.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Have you seen Moonlight, actually? How many times have you seen it?
Like 3 times, guys.
Same. Okay, I was late to the party. The first time I watched it was in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
During the first ever lockdown.
And?
I was broken, right? Because I think it achieved so much without having to do that much.
It did.
I think some people, their criticism of Moonlight is that it doesn't, what's the thing? I've seen criticism that they feel like it doesn't do a good enough job of being sexual or romantic, but I'm like, that's
the reality, if we're being honest.
If that's the reality, I was like, you don't understand how many, I think it's also one of the first times I understood the difference between closeted and being DL, because I think DL comes with a bit of self-hate. I've always said to people, you know when those women complain about DL men and say that, DL men are evil, let's all be suspicious of them, let's open their booty cracks and let's
open their booty cracks
and let's look at you girls should be inspecting your men, let's get them tested, whatever. I'm like, that man is not only a misogynist, but he also hates the gay men he's seeking out. True. The same way he hates you. I'm like, DL men do not love the partners. I'm not sure if you've seen the clip of that alleged DL man slapping his lover on camera.
Oh my God, I saw that one, yes.
I'm like, DL men despise the gay men that they have sexual relations with. Because A, they're living in a truth that they will never allow themselves to live in. But number 2, I think there's also this degree of like self-hate, because how come you have loved yourself to the point where regardless of the slapping at the turnstile, regardless of the harassment on the taxis, regardless of the harassment in the comment sections, you wake up and you're like, this is my reality and I'm going to choose that. They hate you. They hate you. And also they also treat you like a sex symbol, because you're nothing more than just a body. You're a conquest to them. They also engage in the fact that they can do it. Like, guys, some DL men are just sexual deviants, if we're being real, right? Like, some of them are just sexual deviants. Some of them just lack sexual discipline. And I think there is no bigger victim. The woman or the man he's with, both of you are victims. And the sooner...
it's a choice.
And the sooner the girls hold hands over this, the better. Like, I don't need the girls to keep fighting over, oh my gosh, you took... right? God. That's the first thing. But the second thing... Wait, sorry. But the second thing is that Moonlight made me realize that closeted is where you are so deeply trapped in the hardship of coming to terms with who you are that you never even seek it out. Because what he said at the end, where they, met up again, and he was like, no man has held me since you held me.
The scene in the kitchen, yes.
It brought me to tears, because I'm like, this is what a lot of queer people want. the intimacy of being held. I'm like, it's not even about the kiss. It's like, even the fact that there were no sexual scenes. They just made out on the beach. I'm like, sometimes that's as far as that's what most queer people are chasing. The intimacy.
But even then, I think a big part of Moonlight was that it showed that it's also learned behavior. You know, it doesn't come out of anywhere. Like, they didn't just start off hating each other. And I think I like the beginning because they showed the dynamic of this is a guy that I'm attracted to.
Yes.
But there is a societal pressure of being a man, of stepping up and bullying the guy and getting physical with him so I can prove my masculinity. And that also contributed in them eventually growing up and saying, you know what, I'm just going to not tap into that side of myself. I'm just gonna forget about that and just move on with life and marry a woman and have babies. And that's a reality.
He did get married, right? And he had a child and he became a chef, right? Yes. The other one became a dealer, like with the grills.
A manly dealer.
The manly dealer with the grills. And like,
I love that man.
I love him. What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Is it Trayvon something?
Trayvon
something, right? Very fine man. And it also shows that side of it too, that there's also, I don't know, and this back to the whole defeminization of the dolls, right? Especially in South Africa, when you are a relatable gay person in the sense that most of your content is delivered in vernac, because that's something I want to say in how some people are interpreting Mogeleng's content.
True.
So I think with you and I, some people will interpret, I don't know, you remember that Instagram story where you and I were posted and it was like big English? Yes, right? So some people will interpret me and you as like the privileged gay, the ones that went to uni, the ones with the degrees, the ones that have, you know, the big vocabularies, right? And some people will still see that as some people should be gay, some people shouldn't be gay because of their like economic background. And I think Moonlight also illustrates that, because when you're living in a place with such high crime, drugs, all of that, it's like, where do you find the time to be gay?
True.
They think being gay should be at the back of your mind. You're fighting all of this inequality. And I've also interpreted that as well in like South Africa too. You know, where some people feel...
Recession indicator.
Where people feel like in the midst of all this poverty, where are you getting the time to be gay?
You don't have the time.
You don't have the time to be
gay.
Get
a job. You just graduated.
It's like when people were fighting during apartheid, right? And some people criticize the fact that why were figures like Bo Simon Nkoli at the forefront of the LGBTQ rights movement, whereas we were trying to get the ability to vote. And I think about what Simon said. Yeah. He's black and gay.
Exactly.
There isn't one that's lesser than the other, and he should fight that. With that being said, even during apartheid, people were still, you know, people fought for the right to be considered human beings first.
True.
And then you're fighting for the right to not carry a dompas. You're fighting for the right to not be instructed in this language you don't understand. Then you're fighting for the right to vote. Then you're fighting for the right to be considered an equal citizen of the country. Yeah. There are all these layers to your identity. And the same thing is still happening because of the economic indicator, like recession. Because now, I think when we're going through like one of the toughest economic times, all the things that marginalize you in your identity are exacerbated. Like they become like a very, very sharp thorn, right? And I think back to like Mogeleng's, right? A lot of them, from what I've interpreted in the comment section, I want your feelings on this too. A lot of them have this very weird thug fantasy of masculinity that they want him to play out. Trigger warning, mentions of sexual violence and rape. I mean, I've seen a handful of comments from women saying they want him, now that he's more mask presenting, because now he goes to the gym, now he has the brush fade, whatever, and the tank tops, and I want you to rape me. And I'm like, again.
Really? Have they said that?
Oh, they've said that.
Oh my God.
In the dozens. And obviously, a part of me does know that because we live in the rape capital of the world and the LGBT capital of the world, unfortunately, a huge part of social engineering through such atrocities is making you, I don't know, crave the victimhood. It makes you pedestalize the violence. It makes you accept the violence as normal. You think, oh my gosh, rape is so, you know, it's inevitable. I mean, we've seen the stats. Every couple of minutes, someone gets raped in this country.
That's true.
You know, it's increasing in public spaces like clubs, universities, in public transport. We're seeing a rise of peeping toms and people self-pleasuring in public transport. It's very weird, but there's also this idea that, you know what, this is normal. Like the best way out of this is just accept it as the norm. So people start to crave the violence, not realizing that there's
also desirability.
Exactly.
Because I think there's layers to it.
Yes.
With Mogeling's shift, I mean, it wouldn't have worked if Mogeling's wasn't desirable in that shift.
Yes.
You know, if you just suddenly switched and weren't attractive as a man, it would have been like, oh my God. Oh my God, no, go back. Put the wig back on. Go back to the makeup.
You know, flirting versus harassment.
Yeah, like there's a very, very thin line there. So I think there's a part where it's like you have to be desirable to be able to do that, because there's so many queer people, like you said, that don't have the freedom. And I think there's a bit of pretty privilege in the mix.
Exactly.
There's layers to it, you know. There's a lot of people out there that don't have the privilege. I mean, you have to go to work tomorrow. You can't put on heels and makeup to corporate, and corporate is going to probably look at you and go,
yes. I mean,
side eye, what's going on?
If in 2025 corporate is still fighting whether or not black women should have afros, then obviously you as a femme presenting queer man, we don't know.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
Which is why these individuals are only ever in the influencer space, you know. Outside of the space, I don't really... I never really engage with individuals that reach that level of authenticity.
Even in academic spaces. We have gay lecturers, but they have to tone it down.
Exactly.
For the bag.
Exactly.
Tone it down for the bag. And even in corporate, a lot of people never disclose. I'm not sure if you've seen, but in America, because you know how now there's that Donnie Dog. You know Donnie Dog.
Dating Dog. Who's Dating Dog?
Donald Trump. Donnie.
Oh, the orange
Donnie.
man. Mm-hmm.
So there's this I guess, you know how work is not supposed to discriminate.
Yeah.
You should be hired on your capability, qualifications.
We're all equal.
Yeah, but now there are rules that an employer can choose to say, you know what, you're queer, I don't want to hire a queer person, or you're black, you know. And so a lot of people's sexualities are being asked in forms, in job applications, which is something that is private. But obviously, if you click bisexual, LGBT, whatever, we know you're not getting that damn job. Exactly. And in South Africa, it might not be on paper, but it's unspoken. Yeah. In an interview, you don't tell your, you know, what I like to do with my boyfriend. you don't do that.
I feel like queer people are only ever hired if they're like a personality hire. I mean,
you must be. But also it's for marketing.
It's always marketing.
It's always marketing. Even if you're a personality hire, it's only for marketing. It's never for...
Your capabilities, or hi, we actually see that you can do this so well. Please join the team.
Because even with the breakup, because we're talking about the defeminization of the dolls.
Yeah.
One of the major reasons why I wanted out was because it was the first time I'd realized how much being queer meant to me. Yeah. But also how much it meant to me in a potential partner. Like my friends always say, I love a gay-looking man.
What does that mean?
They say they're like, you love dating gay-looking men. You see,
is it that to you?
They said that to me, which also is like a...
That's interesting.
It's interesting because what do y'all say? I should be... Do you know what I'm saying? Should I be dating mask-looking men?
Maybe you have a type.
Maybe I just don't like masculine men. Maybe it's just not my thing. Maybe I just don't like masked men.
But even then, like men that are perceived as being fruity are usually the ones that accept themselves and don't have the internal issues. Exactly. It's like, it's kind of tricky.
So this person, their queerness was on a need-to-know basis.
Oh.
Which is a problem. Right,
what is that? Closeted DL?
I still don't know. I still don't know what that means. Like, I don't know. I left before I got a clear answer on what that means. But it made me realize how that infiltrated so many parts of themselves. Firstly, they didn't put effort into their appearance because they've tied that directly to being perceived as more queer. Right? There's a fear in being perceived as queer.
Soap is gay.
Soap is gay, whatever. They didn't put effort. Even the music that they listened to, it was very basic, very vanilla. They didn't expand because they had to be perceived as. Do you get what I'm saying? But also in public spaces. When I went to the art fair, with this person. Girl, my heart sank to the floor. There was no PDA, and it broke my heart. But also, it broke my heart because I saw all of these queer couples all around me holding hands. But then it also made me realize how queer my life is. My friends are queer. The music I listen to, the way I dress, it's at the forefront.
You can't run away from it. Yeah.
I don't want to. Like, I spent so long running away from it. Now I want the people who don't like it to run away from me.
Exactly.
Now it's that's why I will never take the LGBTQ flag out of my bio. Under no circumstances.
That's your boundary.
And under no circumstances, you must know what you're doing when you're here. Come correct.
Come correct.
Come
intentional.
Come correct. And like, it's so important, right? It is so important to who I am, what I do, that it has to be in a partner to. You can't be put back in the closet, jolo.
I mean, it is an okay boundary. I mean, I feel like we were all there where you had to deal with someone, and this was probably the first man giving you attention, and it's like, oh my god, I don't know how to take this. I've never been looked at my whole life. Oh my god, he likes me. And I think for me, like a bit of tea, but I remember my experiences were when I went to Catholic school, which is like very interesting because there were like layers to it for me, because I'd already accepted my sexuality, but it was like within that space where people were like, oh my gosh, you're queer and you're like out, and it was like what's the problem, that? And then people see that, and I think the mask DL individuals kind of want to exemplify that, or people are attracted to the things that they want to project in themselves. And I think that's the case with a lot of like DL mask men, because it's like, I can't do that, I'm thinking about the family at home that says Thabo is the breadwinner and has to look a certain way, and he has to be the
economic indicators, baby.
Indicators. So I dealt with that, where it was like suddenly you have a DL man giving you attention, and it's like, oh my god,
this is like the greatest thing.
I'll take the crumbs, and then it takes years before you then unlearn that, and you realize this isn't actually love. This is just like,
it's something.
I don't
even want to call it sexual attraction, because sometimes it's not even that.
It's entertainment.
It's something. That's what I'm like. It's something derogatory in brackets. Like, it's something nasty. It's something so unbelievably nasty, because even from a marketing point,
open it up.
I've always known that a certain kind of queer person gets a brand deal. You must be like, the brand must find a way to act like you're a mascot at a soccer match, at a rugby match. They must find a way to act like you're wearing an eagle suit, a chicken suit, and you're doing this, or like you're like that Spider-Man hired to
There's
dance
an image
at a kid's birthday party. They must find, and I hate that. Right now, brands, because we all know brands go with the state of politics.
True.
There's no such thing. Brands are very political. Like that Desert Eagle thing. Is it Desert Eagle with Sydney Sweeney?
I've never heard of it. No.
With the my jeans are blue when Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah,
that's a very politically.
What was the statement again?
Like I don't know, jeans are
passed down
spring, eye color with determining factors like eye color, hair, skin color. My jeans are blue, and it's like, girl, you're a white woman, and allegedly her family are registered Republicans.
Really? I'm not surprised.
Same.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not surprised, guys. We knew it coming from her.
Sydney Sweeney, I never once saw
conservatives love her, guys. We knew this.
I never once saw her as one of us, like, ever. I always knew.
Who did?
Apparently a lot of people. Cool. Like, Twitter was shocked. I was like, guys, it's Sydney Sweeney.
And like, wasn't she selling her like
bath water? It's right? But that's also the other thing, where when people try to sell sex appeal, brands also love to sell sex appeal. And we also know that there is this deep disdain for femininity. So even with queer influencers who are men, you can't sell femininity. You must be sexy. You must be sexy. Like
That's
it's
why I
very.
said muscles, guys.
They want to
Sadly,
see-
if you don't have muscles, they're not taking you seriously.
You must. You know, have you seen that clip? Sex sells.
I mean, look at Men's Health. I feel like Men's Health is a good example as a magazine because I've
Yes.
never seen them like put forward an average-sized
Yeah,
man.
to say-
they will never ever put across that kind of
and
man.
the thing is, whenever people are fat phobic, what really gets me is that they're like, oh no, it's because we're talking about from a health point of view. Guys, you vape every day, you do drugs, you don't drink water, you don't sleep, you like shh.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's also what's happening. Also, I'm gonna be real. Like, people are focusing on Mogelings and making Mogelings the face of this, but you guys have been doing it for a minute now. It's been happening for a minute.
True.
The girlies want to look like they are men. Like, they want to look like, I don't know. I also understand that there's this over-sexualization on platforms like Twitter. And that I think there's this Twitter-induced psychosis. It's what Mandile and I were talking about, where I feel like nowadays, to pop off as a gay man on Twitter, you need to set yourself up to be sexualized. Like, people must thirst over you. Like, a lot of these relationships are based on them making very sexually inappropriate comments about each other.
True.
And it's like, that's the thing. To be sexy gives you friends. To be sexy gives you brand deals. It makes you popular on social media. Because, like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There is like an economy of gay people who are popular on the net. And they might not be popular in the sense that they're influencers, but they have 5K, 4K, upwards.
But they have influence.
They have influence, but what is the influence? They're hot.
Yes.
It's how hot they are.
Desirability.
It's like, it's how I know someone is gay. Like, it's how I know someone is gay. Like, you know how I know someone's gay? There's always a group of twinks following every single gay man. They're like certain men.
Guilty.
They're like certain men. They have never disclosed their sexuality. But I know there's
Instagram, 40 mutuals.
But these 20 twinks in Joburg, if they follow you, that's how I know you're a gay.
It's very small. It's a small community, guys.
It's not even about the community. It's those 20.
True.
It's those 20. There's a you see those 20. If they leave no hot man in South Africa untouched.
Guilty. I'm guilty.
Those 20, I have your names.
Call them out.
Killing what's more listing.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
if and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's also that. But now that terrifies me. And listen, I used to be guilty too. Like, let's follow mass presenting hot men, and then after a year, they're gonna go and mourn Charlie Kirk, and then I'm like, oh, this is why I was not supposed to follow you for being just hot.
That's the thing about being attracted to desirability. Like, you're not humanized in the process. We don't care
Yes.
about what you're thinking about, what your morals are, what your ethics are.
Exactly, but you don't care either.
Yeah.
You. The only self work you do is to be attractive to people, and that's why I told you earlier on that I think that's why I just unsubscribed. That's why I just unsubscribed from it all completely, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore, because in the process of me look maxing, or firstly, I think look maxing is alt-right wing stuff. I think it's very easy to become a right winger when you're look maxing.
True.
The pipeline, because the thing is, I'm gonna end up making these very weird comments when someone complains about, like, the thing is, body image issues are not limited to people who are bigger. I mean, I saw a girl crying that she's been losing weight rapidly because of her mental health. And she doesn't feel confident when she's at such a small weight because she knows that her life isn't in order. She knows she's not eating, sleeping well, and she knows she needs psychological help. She knows her burdens are heavy. She's 25. She's not where she thought she would be at that age. She's struggling with so much, and she wore her MD dress, and it being so big stresses her out. That's what I'm saying. Body image issues are not just limited to people who are bigger. But the thing is, if I'm going to go with this narrative that everyone who's trying to undo the work of aura maxing, look maxing, is simply hating outside of the club, you're also going to isolate smaller people. Like everyone loses.
Yeah, true. And culturally, I think people forget that South Africans are seen as like, oh my God, the big booty girls.
Exactly.
The girls with the hips. And I mean, that excludes a lot of the girls that just don't fit that description.
Exactly.
You know? And even they experience that. I mean, I just last week was at a conference and I had someone approach me and go, oh my God, you're so skinny. Do you eat? And it's stuff like that where people are very like okay with just making comments about people's bodies.
Exactly, because everyone's body that is undesirable in any way is on its next in line.
It's a playground for opinions and discourse.
And I don't like that, because people love to water it down like, oh, you guys just care because you wish it was you. And I'm like, I promise you, it's not. And then I'm gonna get on this, let's say I get ripped, and then I get on this weird high horse that all of you are ugly, I'm not. That's why you all hate me. And it's like, no, babe, you just called us the K word. Like, that's why we don't like you. You were mean to me at Sunset Sun. That's why we don't like you. Like, who
was mean to you at Sunset? Okay, no, oh my God.
I'm gonna be real. Everyone has been nice to me at Sunset. I love y'all down. Everyone at Sunset has been so fantastic to me. You know where people have been mean to me though?
Where?
In certain places in Rosebank.
Really, Rosebank? That's so interesting. Where? Like the ones that meet you in the mall?
No.
The paras, who?
No, you know what, guys? Leave it. Let's leave it.
Story for another day.
Story for another day.
Story for another day.
Story for another day. And also, there is like algorithm bias, let's be honest.
Ish.
People find it easier to support your content if they're attracted to you.
True.
Like we've seen
Sprinkle some colorism in there.
Colorism, featureism, Dirty Diana. And that's what I'm saying. I can't do it.
Oh my God.
I can't get online, friend. And
also like add the whole nuance of finance in it, you know, the contrast of like, are you going to be the influencer that's going to like have a wash bucket and fast lap and seen as authentic, or are you going to be the one that's like at Eye of Africa with like a dad that has 3 cars and you're living a really lavish life, and that's why people follow you.
Wake it up. Because also being hot, I've also seen the comments of people they find desirable that are in like political, like economic situations that they don't desire.
Really?
Yes.
Like who?
It's like, I remember seeing this colored man, he was very attractive, but he was in like a 4-room situation. Mm-hmm. And the comments were like, you're so hot, you can be a stay-at-home husband. And I'm like, ugh.
They're also sexualized.
I'm like, that's a microaggression, but yeah. Who do I run this comment up with? Is there someone I can take this up with?
Oh my gosh, no. That's like 1 of 100 at this point.
I'm like, is there someone I can take this up with? Clearly, this is it, you know? And I don't know, like, even with the algorithm, like,
but it's also tricky because, like I said, the algorithm like feeds into itself. You know, in a very, very weird way.
It's studying itself.
People are, you know, they trend if they're attractive because the algorithm sees people are doing better, and the number or the metrics if they look attractive. You know, it's just this like positive.
I can't love
Not just that,
you.
but I mean, look at the crazy toxic behavior. I mean, that was a discussion I had with someone where it's like when people do crazy stuff for views, the algorithm kind of feeds into it because it's like, oh my God, my other videos where I talk about, we said the death of the niche. Like if I make a video about cooking, it gets 500 views. But then if I make one, insert man with shorts and print, you know,
or
it's
like
I'm
squeezing. It's or like I'm licking.
That's the content that does well. So the algorithm pushes it out, and then you end up being known as that guy that does this one thing. So
exactly.
Horrible.
You know, I don't know. It's just, it's just, whoa. You know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. We literally, naturally, like, went into the other question.
No ways.
We, like, so beautifully went into it, like literally, whatever. Because we spoke
meant to be.
Because we spoke about the femmephobia in the community itself. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy because this is because like we're like almost out of time. But something I do want to say is that femininity has always been the identity of queer South Africans. If I'm being honest, so it's been a shock to me. Also, I think we love copying American aesthetics in the queer community, in South Africa's queer community.
Okay, true.
Because I think South Africa's queer community thrived on the fact that it had its own very unique culture.
Yeah.
Like, queerness unites us globally.
True.
But I think we're allowed to do things in our way.
But I also think there's this part of it that like is connected where, femininity is inherently connected to not just the queer community but to women as well.
Like what
so
I
you
said
can't really
earlier.
separate the two.
Yeah,
so I
it's
feel like
like
that hatred also kind of stems from the misogyny. That's
Misogyny.
already an inherent.
Musokoni. And they said, they accused me of musokoni.
Exactly. Did you hear that story time? Like, I literally just watched the story time of this lady that was like, I took a taxi to Joburg CBD, and I was with a gay guy that was like maybe 17, and I had never really understood the experiences that queer people have in those environments, and spoke about like how this queer guy was getting catcalled, being told like the most derogatory things, and she was like, I would have never expected that would be the reality of a queer person, because in my head it's like, oh no, it's just women that go do that.
Exactly.
But those issues are so like
Interconnected.
interlinked because of why? Because there's femininity.
Intersectionality, homophobia's root is misogyny.
Everything is everything.
Oh yeah, but wow, like I love this conversation. I was very calm today.
You could go for days.
I was very calm. I was so locked in. Like
really,
I was so locked in.
Presence.
I was like, but also I think it's because I'm very sleepy too.
But it's like a chat, like with a friend, basically.
It's a chat with a friend. That's what I love about this podcast. Like, obviously, I love having the questions to guide, but I don't want us to like.
Yeah,
I want
too much structure.
I want people to be able to listen to this in a very comfortable way. Yeah. I want this to be friendly. I want this to, But yeah. Thabiso, I am so glad you came.
Of course,
So
thank you so
happy
much
to
for having
have
me
you.
here.
And then I think this was such a, you know what? I'm a yapper. So like every conversation I have here is never enough.
I feel like we need to write a book, honestly.
We need to write a book on this. We need to, you know what, guys? Let me not say I'll bring Thabiso back. Next time we see Thabiso, we're going to release a joint book.
There'll be a part 2, of course.
There'll be a part 2, obviously, but like, we should just drop the book.
We'll drop the book, but also part 1's not enough, guys. Gotta give the girlies what they want.
We're going to give you guys what you want, and you'll get it every single time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, big stars. This was great. I'm so happy to be with you guys all the time. But let me be real, guys. I've been so overwhelmed lately. I feel like I've been using a lot of brain power, right? Because like people are like, you're missing on TikTok. Guys, I'm thinking on the podcast. I'm thinking on the brand. I'm thinking on IG.
Of life.
I'm thinking about life. I'm thinking on the Gautrain. I'm thinking on the Uber.
And you missed the train.
Guys, I missed the train. I was sitting at the stage for like 30 minutes. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
But guys, I'll never stop thinking for you, But don't forget, next week is our special episode about September, which is Child Cancer Awareness Month. So what did I say, guys? We're doing research. We're doing the reading. We're coming with questions. So yes, goodbye, my big stars. See you next Tuesday at 3. I love you down.
Thank you so much.